This show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, experienced real estate agent serving Disney and the greater Orlando area of celebratingflorida.com. Have you ever dreamed of living where the magic happens? Victor Naraki has made that dream come true for himself and others. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Orlando area, here's why Victor is the realtor you'll want in your corner. Victor knows the Disney area like the back of his house. By creating a free, no-obligation account on his website, celebratingflorida.com, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Is it time to follow your dream? Victor is looking forward to helping you discover the real estate opportunities that are right for you in this beautiful and fun-filled part of Florida. Visit celebratingflorida.com today or view Victor's view at victorsvista.com and let Victor know the Solo Show sent you.
Pay attention, it's Joe time. Let's put on the show.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, somewhere in the freshly repainted Cinderella Castle, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America on this little planet we call Earth, this is the Solo Show. On this adventure, part 4 of our continuing reports on the reopening of the Disney theme parks, Stan welcomes Darlene Nagi to the guest host chair as they discuss the return to the Mecca of Disney parks in Orlando. So now, please welcome your host, the man who sits directly across from you, narrating like Darkwing Duck in the Pop Century Skytram. Here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo and I am here with an amazing co-host. We go back quite a few years as a box people with the WDW radio. And just like myself, she did her own podcast with Stuart Steinberg. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Sternberg
with the WDW Fan Zone, the one and only Darlene Nagi, formerly from West Seneca, New York. Darlene, how are you and where are you from now?
I am doing wonderful, and I am from Davenport, Florida now.
From Florida. Oh, man. You're living the dream right now. Or are you? Geez, those numbers in Florida are insane. We have to talk about COVID-19 when we're doing... This is part 4 of our series as the parks open around the world. We're going to talk to people who visited them and kind of see what's going on. So, Darlene, who was your real estate agent moving to Florida?
Our real estate agent was Victor Naraki, Celebrating Florida. Yes. Fabulous realtor. He's great.
For those of you that didn't fast forwarded through the first how many seconds of this show, you know that Victor Naraki is the sponsor of our show. So I wanted to get somebody on who actually, dealt with Victor. So we'll talk a little bit about Victor before we get into Darlene's visit to the wonderful world of Walt Disney World. Darlene, how was Victor as an agent?
He was very nice. With me working on trying to buy a house from West Seneca, New York for Florida, it was a little bit difficult because I did 18 months of research before I contacted him. And we came down in October of 18. We looked around and stuff. And then we came back in January and we kind of knew what we wanted when we were looking at the area. And he was very good about taking us to and from different places and showing us different areas. He listened to our, concerns and stuff of where we wanted to be. I didn't want to be right in the back pocket or the Orlando area because I know how busy it is. I've heard how busy it is. And I didn't want to be in the tourist area. So it was either going towards, a little bit south of Disney or, west of Disney. And we picked the south because we have friends that live in the Davenport area. They've had houses here for a long time. So he was able to find us a brand new development that we could build in and that. So
nice.
Yeah, he took us everywhere. We looked at Lake Wales, we looked at Lakeland, we looked at Groveland, we looked at Claremont. We looked at Winter Garden. we were everywhere. You don't realize all the little towns and how everything is set. I don't know. You've been to Niagara Falls, New York.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Years ago, and I was like in high school.
Right. So you kind of know what we had up there. We had, and I think it's the same in the Providence as well, is that you have the stores and everything are right there on the strip. So you can see everything. Everything's like right in your face. Mm-hmm. In Florida, I found that it is set back and away and you don't know where things are. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of woods and everything, and then the developments are behind. So we had no clue that there was even more there than what there was.
Wait a minute. There's more outside the bubble of Walt Disney World where people live?
Exactly. Do you know that there is still a lot of farms and stuff down here? If you go down to Tampa and drive back, like we did with my sister-in-law in January, when she came, we
surprised to see that going on one of the cruises we drove, and you see cows.
Yeah, that's what I consider old Florida. Where I am now, I'm a mix of old Florida and new Florida.
Oh, nice.
But if you go into, say, Plant City, or like you said, over to the Cape Canaveral or Port Canaveral, you do see a lot of old Florida and stuff, which is great because we need to maintain that as well. We need the land for the cows and the citrus farmers to produce. I mean, right now it just seems like a lot of the citrus farms. There was one right behind us, and now it's gone.
Oh, poor Orangebird.
Poor Orangebird is right, because I was really looking forward to that smell of orange blossoms and stuff that we used to have, and now we won't have it because there's a development going in.
But I hear that a lot about Victor, that he really listens to his clients, and he wants to do the best for them and take them to where places that they want to see, and then you ended up building your own anyways. We did.
Great. I think that's the thing, is like nobody wants to leave. There's not very many people leaving. Mm-hmm. So they need to build more homes. And that was just our thing. Plus, we have a Florida podcast that we do as well, Living in Florida, that we've spun off now that Stuart's moved down here. And, we've discussed it because when we were looking, my biggest concern with snowstorms up north is hurricanes down in Florida. I wanted to make sure I was in a house that was in the right coating for hurricane. Okay. I wanted to make sure I was going to be safe. So that's one of the things I researched a lot. Okay. And Victor was very good about telling us what year homes and stuff. So don't be afraid to ask him when you're looking for a house. If you don't want to build and you want to buy a resale, listen to Victor, because he's very good about telling you details on the houses for like making sure you're safe during hurricanes and what year you should be looking at.
Yes. Okay. That's important to know for sure. And if you want to get in touch with Victor, that's celebratingflorida.com. And so you got two podcasts then. I didn't know about the second one, Living in Florida podcast, and the WDW Fan Zone with Stuart. Yeah. What is the WDW Fan Zone? How did that come about, and tell a little bit about that?
Oh, well, that was started back in, I want to say 2010. He started it with writing. We do a lot of blogging. We have a number of writers. They're fabulous. And we put out at least an article on the website a day. And then we had a number of different podcasts we were doing. Right now we do one podcast a week on Thursday nights, and it's normally available on Friday. And we talk about Walt Disney World. We talk about visiting the parks, vacationing at the parks. We've talked numerous times about the COVID and how things might change. It was, something that we wanted to share because a lot of our writers have been going to Walt Disney World for a number of years, and we wanted to share our stories because a lot of us, I'm normally contacted at least 3-4 times a week, a month. It was before COVID, of people, family, friends wanting to come down to Florida and how to book a vacation, and what to do, where to stay, how to handle it. like I had a family of 8 coming down during Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And I suggested that they contact a friend of mine who owns 3 houses down here. And they have a rental agency because it's in a vacation community. Yeah. And I put her in contact with them because by the time it was said and done, being on property was just not feasible.
Yeah.
So, and then with the park tickets and everything. So, these are things that we try to share with our listeners and our readers, and that is how to make the most out of your vacation. If you have somebody contact you that they want to go to, Walt Disney World, Universal, then SeaWorld, you might want to swap parks or swap, you might not want to just stay in one place. We've done it where we did stay at Caribbean Beach, and we did Magic Kingdom, Universal, Epcot, SeaWorld, and then back, and we did the other 2 parks way back in 1998,
How many days was that trip?
That one was 7.
Wow. That sounds exhausting.
It was. That was when we were diehards. My husband was so afraid when we came back for my 40th in 2009, and we were staying for 9 days. He thought we were going to be running for 9 days. And boy, did my daughter and I surprise him with pool days a couple of those days.
Oh, that's hilarious. So Magic Kingdom is open. Animal Kingdom is open as of this recording. By the time this comes out, the other 2 parks will be open. And you were able to go to Animal Kingdom. You went on the 2nd annual pass day. Am I correct?
Yes.
So were you a little nervous going into the park or booking your tickets? Or, like I said, Florida is not doing the best in the world with COVID. How was that? Were you hesitant at all?
I was. But when Disney, because I had gotten the annual pass preview option on my phone and I went into it. I'll go a little bit into that. I was in the waiting room for like 40 minutes. Finally got in, and it kept telling me I had an error. And I couldn't understand what it was. And a friend of mine told me, well, try chatting with them and see if you can find out what happened. So I chatted with a gentleman, and he was able to send me a form. I filled it out and said went straight in and filled out everything. And I was sending in, standing there waiting for an invite, and because I got the invite and it didn't end up happening. And I said, I'll take either day if I can get it. Well, then they came back and they emailed me the other day and said, congratulations, we've reviewed everything and they are, putting you in on Friday. We hope that's okay. And I said, yes, that's perfectly fine, So I got an email. So.
Okay. And, now, so you get to the park, I'm seeing videos. I haven't seen, honestly, to be honest, I have seen a lot of Magic Kingdom photos, a lot of Magic Kingdom videos, but very little for Animal Kingdom. Is it dead? Is it reasonable? How are the crowd levels getting into the park?
I have to say, I did not make it there at 8 a.m. There was an accident on I-4.
Of course. Welcome to Florida, folks.
I really need to learn the back. I know the back road because I've driven it home plenty of times. So I need to start just going that way and not going to I-4 because that's my go-to. I left a little later because I knew I had friends that said that they were waiting at the toll plaza to get in, even though it opened at 8. And I was like, well, okay, I'll just leave at 8 and I'll go. So I ended up getting there by the time all was said and done, it was like 10:30. So at that time I was walking in, people were walking out already.
Oh, wow.
And I was walking in. I guess it depended on what they wanted to ride and how much they wanted to see.
And there's no park hopping, so they're not hopping.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So what I did was when I walked in, okay, I'm going to tell you all the thing. So you walk up to the security section. You only took out your umbrella out of your bag.
Okay.
Now I had pre-bagged everything into clear plastic bags that I had inside one backpack.
Okay.
Because
Smart.
I heard that you're taking your stuff out yourself. If you're showing them, they're not going through your bag anymore.
Oh, okay.
So with saying that, I took my umbrella out, walked through the security. Theirs is so high tech there that he reviewed it on his kiosk pad, and he said it was her umbrella. So that rang when I walked through.
Oh, okay. So is this a metal detector, or is this like
It is.
X-ray
It
type
is.
thing?
It's got to be both. It's these things looked like they were airline scanners almost. They were very, very professional, and that they were the best ones that I've seen. I remember Disney before having those cream colored ones.
Yeah.
And those just let you know that there was metal. This seemed to have, I think, some sort of X-ray technology to it. So I walked through.
I heard that these were coming, so they're already installed then.
They are at Animal Kingdom.
That is cool. Okay.
I do have a day planned next week, Friday, for Epcot.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous about that one too. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like when I got into the park, because as we all know, when you walk into Animal Kingdom, there was only they only scanned my Magic Band. There was no finger touching.
Yes, I wanted to ask about that. So what stops me from using Darlene Nagi's Magic Band and going in now that they don't have the fingerprint scan? Is there a photo that comes up or anything, or they give me that photo?
I do have a photo already taken because my fingerprints from typing for so many years don't really have a fingerprint left, so they always have to plump me up.
Okay.
So they had to take a picture. Sometimes my finger just does not scan. Yeah. So they have a picture of me, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, Darlene, for coming in. Have a magical day. Welcome home." And it made me feel good, that they had me. I have a feeling that is one of the things that they will be doing now, is taking pictures. I will be able to pay more attention when I go to Epcot, because with this being a annual pass preview, there wasn't a lot of people going through at that time. So with saying that, I walked in, and we know that it's all lush and green and that, so you don't see many guests right at that entrance. So then I went up the walkway, and I was walking into where you can split off to go to Pandora and It's a Bug's Life and that. Well, I always go straight to the back of the park and hit the safari because And there were a number of guests, but everybody was basically social distancing. Everybody was wearing their mask. Yeah. There are, the garbage cans are tucked open. The canisters, most of them, every so many feet, have a sign on it that says about the face mask, washing your hands, using soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, coughing or sneezing into your arm, and social distancing. These are splattered all over the park. Most people were trying to do that. What I liked at Disney Springs when I went is certain areas where it was narrow, they have arrows on the floor. Yeah, like going over bridges or whatever. Yeah, stay right, stay left. Correct. I wish they did this in the park because, of course, you've got some families that just... Yeah, they don't go single file. No, it's a big, huge group. So I did video a little bit while I was there, and I stopped, and I apologized for stopping and not continuing to walk until a family decided that I'm right there. I don't know if they just didn't see me or what, but they then did move, and I just waited for them to go by before I continued on walking. But they do make, then I heard, announcements. It's like every 15-20 minutes. Good afternoon. There are, certain rules that need to be followed. Please wear your face mask, social distance, and, please have a wonderful day, a magical day in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Thank you for visiting us today.
Yeah.
And this recording comes on every so often and that. So, and then they also, all the cast members and everything were so very nice. I did not see a lot of people without a drink in their hand from Starbucks when I was walking by, or Tamu Tamu, that did not have a mask on. I've come up with a new way of, if I'm drinking a drink that has a straw, I lift my mask up and put the straw in. Yeah. And then put it back down. I don't take the whole mask off to drink.
So you're saying a lot of people were doing that? They were taking their whole mask off?
They take the mask off one side, drink or sip, and then put it back on.
Okay.
What also Disney's Animal Kingdom had was relaxation stations.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about those.
So these relaxation stations seem to be in every land, that there's an area that you can go besides for your outdoor dining, like Yak and Yeti and stuff. That's normally, if you're dining and you're sitting, you remove your mask.
Yeah.
But if you get
and the tables are
around,
spaced apart enough.
Correct.
That you're not clumping together.
No.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they even have signs on the tables that say that this seat is not going to be used for social distancing.
Yeah.
And they had that spaced out. So when I ate at Flame Tree Barbecue, and went and sat down by the water, I picked a table that was in the corner, and the table in front of me, next to me, were both, because the kiosk to put your trays back on and your silverware was there. So nobody could sit next to me.
Yeah.
So I was by myself, which was great.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And these relaxation stations are the same way. And a cast member was explaining it to a family, because they're like, well, we didn't know where to go, and the kids got hot. And he's like, well, you can look for the relaxation stations, and you can go and sit there for as long as you want and take your mask off. Because what we really don't want anyone taking their mask off while they're walking around the park.
See, this is very unique, I believe, to Florida so far, because I have talked to people from Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo doing this series, and they hadn't heard about that. Whether it's happening there or not, they weren't sure, but they definitely weren't aware of a relaxation station area. So it's awesome that Florida's doing that.
Well, especially in Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom's Animal Kingdom hot.
It's always 5 or 8 degrees hotter there than the rest of the bubble.
Exactly. Well, the bubble around me here is, I was just talking to a gentleman that was working on irrigation, and he said, this area that I moved into is one of those places that is the hottest for some reason. Davenport is
Victor.
Hotter. Yeah, thank you, Victor. Hotter than even at Disney World. And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I wanted to live somewhere hot. I got it.
You know what the funny thing is I'm watching these videos of Magic Kingdom opening in Tokyo and Shanghai and Hong Kong. And it's like, I'm getting this burning desire. I want to go so badly. And it's like, I want to go, and I can't leave the country, but I want to go like right now. But the funny thing is, a year ago, if you were to say to me, hey, let's go to Disney World in July or August, I'd be like, no, I'm not going in July or August. But it's like, now I really want to go.
Very hot.
It's too hot. Are you crazy? I'm not going in July or August Disney World. So I have to keep reminding myself it's still July. It's not. I'm not going in July. That's it is. How about some of the attractions and like I'm seeing like in Jungle Cruise at Magic Kingdom, they got plexiglass and all that. I'm assuming they're doing spacing. Is there anything unique that you saw at any?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the first ride I took was the safari. and walking through, it was a 5-minute wait.
Nice.
I'm going to say
and
this.
Getting there late yet.
Yeah, and getting there late yet. I'm going to say this now and get it out. Every single ride I went to go on was no more than like 15 minutes this day.
That's why I want to go so bad in July.
Okay.
But
let's revisit when I go to Epcot next Friday when it's a regular park opening.
Yeah.
I think it might be different. I think that with me going for the Disney annual pass was a really big, it was a big difference, I think, with annual pass holders, how many people they let in for the cast members and us as pass holders to get used to visiting the park.
Yeah.
Now what we're doing is we're going to be visiting the parks with members of the guests that don't have annual passes and that don't realize how they're going to be interacting with all of these new changes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Magic Kingdom was yesterday as we're recording this, was the first day, and it seemed to be pretty good there too. But like Shanghai was like that. Shanghai opened and 5-minute waits. Everything was beautiful. Everything was great. 2 weeks later, it was a 59-minute wait for Soarin'.
Right.
180-minute wait. The line and the queue, because of social distancing, went off into the restaurant, like into the green area. It was So hopefully Disney keeps this up. Hopefully that they're able to maintain it. The time will tell.
I think we're at a 25% capacity. So this is why the annual passes were so small.
Yeah.
So going back to, I went to the safari and I walked through the queue, no problem at all. On the ground, there is please stand here, please wait here stickers all the way through the queue. So you do not have to stand on top of anybody unless that party is like 6 or something or 8 that's going through in front of you. Then I would get the line in front of me to give them enough space to spread out.
Right.
I would not go up to the line. I'm sure the people behind me weren't happy, but I'm social distancing that 6 feet.
Yeah. Which I've never understood anyways. People do that all the time. They get angry because you're leaving space between you and the person. You're not going to get there any faster.
I know, right? Exactly.
Whether you're an extra 4 feet forward or not, it's not going to make a difference. You're not going to get on the attraction faster. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Nope. So then during when you got to certain areas, there were plexiglass partitions through the safari. Then when I got up to where it was only me, one person, so they put me in a row. I did not realize I was going to be right between two sets of people. I thought it would have been spaced out a little bit more, but they do have plastic in each of the trucks.
Okay.
So
you had the row to yourself, but there was someone in front of you and someone behind you.
Correct.
There was plexiglass dividers.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. How does that work for you? Because I find often on the safari, the speaker hard to hear as it is.
No, it was fine.
Okay.
That was fine. We ended up taking the ride, and it was very nice, and you could hear everything. And at the end of the ride, the cast member said, "Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for wearing your mask during the safari." And then we got off.
Okay.
And we went out. None
of the animals had masks on.
No. Only the monkeys.
The monkeys had masks? There you go. Perfect. The gorillas in the Gorilla Falls had masks on.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
That was just a child you saw. It wasn't really a monkey. It's a very child.
So then I walked through Gorilla Falls. It wasn't very crowded at all. There was a few families and stuff. And if they were talking to the cast members, it's not like I have not seen these exhibits before. So I just moved along and went to the next exhibit. The birds were flying freely and everything. And it was fabulous. They don't let you know where all the tarantulas are and everything, and the spiders and all that stuff.
The part that I zipped through, that part.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes do. Well, you're going to zip through it because it is blocked off. that exhibit is closed as of right now.
They don't want you to be touching the elephant skull and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's closed. Then after that, I went over to, I walked through, went to the Maharaj jungle
Trek.
Walked around there. I rode Everest.
Five times, which is five times.
No, not 5 times. 5-minute wait.
Oh, 5 minutes. I think you rode it 5 times. I thought,
No.
5 times more than I've ridden it.
Oh, gosh. That was exciting that I was able to get on it this time without a problem. I think I rode every single ride in the park. I'm
assuming they have hand sanitizing stations before and after.
Yes. No, none of them were empty.
Right on.
This park had it, spot on. They were very good about it. And I have to say that the bathrooms were extremely clean when I went into use the facilities. I don't know how many people were actually using them though. I mean, like I said, the park is very big. Yeah. So you can have guests. You could have probably had 20,000 guests in there and not seen half of them.
Right.
Because depending on where they are. Kali River Rapids was actually running, which I was surprised that it was. But again, they've put plexiglass into and had spots where people were sitting.
So now Kali River Rapids is like you get wet on that. Do you wear a mask on that one or you take it off? What's the...
I did not see, I seen them going through, but I really didn't pay attention. I don't think you can wear the mask on Kali River Rapids because it could get wet. But then again, a lot of the people that were wearing it that I did see, I would have to go back to my video to look because I did video that portion. They had their rain ponchos on.
True enough. Yeah. Yeah, true enough.
So, but then I went to Everest, and what was really unique was I was passing by the River of Lights viewing area, and within that area, they had barges with the characters. So I got to see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pumbaa, and the monkey. What's his name? From Lion King.
Tarzan?
No.
From Jungle Book?
No. From Lion King.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
I knew what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. And then Rafiki.
Yes.
Darkwing, or no, the big tall duck from Rescue Rangers.
Launchpad.
Yeah. And then who else was there? I think that was it. But there was barges going through, and they would take turns going, and
so almost it was like a parade on the water, basically.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
That's really cool. And that theater is so huge. Like that would be a good resting spot.
Yes,
you could space yourself out, take your mask off. I'm sure.
And exactly.
Yeah.
I did see a few people in there sitting, and they were spaced out, so they were allowing people to sit there, and then I went and I had lunch, and I sat, like I said, I went and sat by the water. A cast member said it was really cool to sit down there. There was a nice breeze. And that's where I caught Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy and stuff. So that was kind of neat. And then
that's when I saw videos of them like on a motorboat, or pictures of them like on a motorboat traveling. Yeah. That's cool. I love that they're doing these like extra things that you don't normally get to see.
Right. And with them doing it this way, we don't have to worry about people lining up for a 3:00 parade, which is great. So you don't have to worry about social distancing because you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. But if you do catch it, it's very magical.
Exactly.
And which I'm very happy about. So after I had lunch and I cleaned up and everything, I decided to go over to Pandora. And I went over to Pandora and I walked through there and I went on Flights of Passage. Again, 5-minute wait.
Wow.
And
Unreal.
through the entire queue. I didn't have to rush. Yes, there was a family behind me, but they were just as amazed at the queue line and being able to get time to experience the queue line without having to like move along fast, that we didn't push each other.
I've never done the queue. I've ridden it several times, but I've only done after hour events through the Fast Pass line or the Fast Pass. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever. Yeah. So that's awesome.
So then I went, after that, I was like, well, I'll go over.
I was going to ask, no, so Flight of Passage, you have to hold on to those handles when you're riding. Is there hands? I'm guessing you sanitize before you get on. Is there anything extra they're doing? Are they cleaning before or after?
Okay. So there was hand sanitizer when I entered the ride. There was hand sanitizer before I walked into the docking bay, which, with saying that, I was the only one in the preview. They sent me by myself.
Holy cow.
And they knocked that down to just them introducing the doctor and what she says, and then you go in. You don't
do
build an
the
avatar.
Whole scanning your body and move around and shake and that. Oh, I actually like that, but that part's kind of goofy, anyways. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and then all the doors are open, so you just walk in, and you stand on a dot until another family went in front of me of four. Yeah. Of four. And what they did was they put us in the same section, but that family of four was all the way down at one end, and then I was all the way down at like this end.
So you had a number of banshees between you and the family.
Correct. Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. And I know that it smelled like some sort of fluid was used. I didn't see them clean, but I know that there was nobody in the other docking bay either for the banshees. There was nobody on those. So I think what they're doing is they're taking turns of where they're putting you as well. So they have time to work on that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So how about the glasses? Do they hand them to you? Do you pick them up yourself? Are they
were handing them out because they don't want everybody because some people might not use the hand sanitizer.
Well, yeah.
You're hoping everybody's using the hand sanitizer. But so I think Disney has decided that it's better if the cast members do that. So, and it's me, myself, and I, and my husband, we carry hand sanitizer with us. Yeah. So I put the glasses on, and then I had to grab the handles. Yeah. And we took off, and I don't know, for some reason, this ride this time was phenomenal.
Well, it's been so long.
I know. Right? It was so relaxing, and I enjoyed it. It felt like I seen more in this time than I have in like all the other times I rode it.
Yeah. And I think it's a more relaxing process getting to the attraction. Might have made a difference for you as well.
I wasn't so stressed like I was being rushed.
Yeah, exactly. Because often with Flight of, you feel very rushed riding that attraction, I find. It's like, wait, and then it's like, okay, hurry up and do your dot thing, and then get down and strap yourself in and hurry up because we got another 800 people waiting in line.
Correct.
that probably
and that was not how it felt this time. It was more low-key, relaxed. And I would love it if it would stay like this, but I know it's not going to.
Yeah.
I don't have rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah. You mentioned at first that you were fairly nervous getting into the park and getting your ticket and all that. At what point are you starting to feel feeling relaxed? I'm assuming, and a lot more safe the entire time.
I did. I did ride a ride or two that the guests took their masks off, and I did voice my concern to guest relations. Come to find out, if anyone removes their mask during a ride and there is a picture experience, they will not receive their picture experience. That picture will be deleted. Okay. This is how they're going to try to train guests to not do that on a ride, because they are supposed to be riding the ride with a mask on.
Yeah. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that before. Okay, that's really cool. So if you're on the convention, you have to keep your mask on your dune buggy.
Correct.
Or you're not getting your photo.
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
That is absolutely correct. And I don't know, say you're in your dune buggy and it's the next person, that might flag your dune buggy as well. So you and I might be riding together wearing our masks. Mm-hmm. We might not get it.
Well, dune buggies, it's individual. It's only 2 people in the dune.
It should be,
so, yes. So that should be fine. But
I would. My fingers are crossed because
that would be the case in something like Splash Mountain. If there's people at the front of the log and you're at the back of the log, you might not get
right. Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting.
Oh, my Stuart has sent me an email or a text message, and he said, "Hello, Stan, and have a great show with Darlene."
Well, Stuart, if you're listening to this, thank you. We are having a great show. What about, I haven't heard at all, Finding Nemo and The Lion King. Are they spacing? Are they canceled? Or what's happening with those 2?
Okay. Those are Finding Nemo. That show was closed, and The Lion King was closed.
Okay.
I was, a little disappointed. I did ride Dinosaur.
Okay.
I was on with another couple. They put them in the first row, and I was in the last row.
Nice.
So, and the same thing with the Nave River. Mm-hmm. They gave me my own boat.
Really? Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, I got my own boat. I don't have to worry about it. I'll videotape it here. So I did have my own
I have
boat.
done that. I have ridden my own boat on Nahi River, and I never got off and just stayed on.
First time.
Yeah, it was an after-hours party, and I was the only one in the building. I just rode it 3 times in a row without getting off.
Yeah.
It's a much longer ride when you ride it 3 times in a row.
Oh, yeah. But you probably caught a lot riding it 3 times in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that you didn't catch the first time, you caught the second time.
Yeah.
And like I said,
it's a bad rap, but I love it.
Yeah. I was very comfortable after I had gotten there, and I was walking around and seeing that the families were being very kind and nice and social distancing and wearing their masks and not making a big deal about it.
Yeah. So hopefully that stays too. Hopefully that does not finish. Mm-hmm. I think it will. I think people are going to push their limits. It's just human nature.
Mm-hmm. I have that feeling as well. And have you yourself been told when you'll be able to leave the country to do a vacation?
Where we are right now, it's standing July 21st is when the border is set to open.
Okay.
Before that, it was June 21st. Before that, it was May 21st.
Okay.
So Canada and the U.S. are going month to month, trying to decide when to open the borders.
Your numbers are so low.
Well, in my province, they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's other provinces where they're not quite so low.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean they're nowhere near what some of the U.S. has. The generally everyone I talk to, they want to keep the border closed. There's very few people that are gung ho to get the border open, and I feel like our prime minister is like that as well. I feel like he prefers to keep the border closed. I don't think the president wants to keep it closed for as long as it has been. From what I'm hearing is that the U.S. prefers to have the Canadian-U.S. border open. But I mean, I have no say in the matter. You have no say in the matter. We'll see.
No, we don't. I can tell you this tidbit, though. My daughter and son-in-law were supposed to go on a Disney Alaska cruise in the end of August.
Yeah,
those cruises have been canceled.
Yeah. The BC is not allowing any ships that hold more than 100 people in Canadian waters until the end of the year, until next year. Mm-hmm. So any cruises going through Canadian waters have been canceled now till at least next year. And again, that may be extended. So
yes, we don't know.
Time will tell. Well, this has been great. I wanted to ask you about the reservation system. So you're allowed to book 3 days at a time?
Yes.
Now, do you have to use up all 3 days before you can book another 3 days, or can you use one, and then book a third one after you use one?
Yes. So what I found is friends of mine, we found out that we could book reservations for them for August now because they are on the Silver Florida Pass.
Okay.
I think it's the Florida Pass. It's the Monday through Friday. They don't go on the weekends.
Okay. Okay.
So with saying that, we were booking for August. And so she booked us Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and then she wanted Hollywood Studios. Because I have Epcot on Friday, she could not book me for that Hollywood Studios. So once my Epcot day is done this upcoming Friday, she'll be able to book me with them for that Hollywood Studios.
Okay. So if you have 3, you use one, you can now book a third one again.
Correct.
Because use up all 3 and then book 3 more.
Right. Because what I did was I decided to wait going to Magic Kingdom because I had a chance to go with a friend during another event.
Okay.
So I said, I don't need to go again right now. I can wait for you. So I canceled that, and that's how we found out. So because she couldn't book me anything else, so I did that so she was able to get me into Epcot.
Nice.
So and I'm hoping, because she said all of the other days, mind you, were already booked for Hollywood Studios. The first day available was August 31st for Hollywood Studios.
Okay. And that opens the 15th, correct?
Of July, yes.
Of July, yeah. So basically Monday to Friday from July 15th to at least the 31st as it's recording is taken already. Is already
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hoping, she goes, well, if it is, we'll just cancel ours and we'll find another day so the 3 of us can go together. Yeah. So, well, I'm hopeful. I mean, and there are no fast passes for the near future.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is almost a good thing, I think. There's times when I've been standing in a standby line and you think to yourself, if there was no fast passes, I'd be on already.
Exactly. I agree.
A lot of stress, those fast passes. When you have them, they're great. You know, after you enter the park, how quickly can you book a new day? Do you have to wait till after midnight, or can you do it as soon as you enter the park, or how do you?
It was by the time I got home, so I think it's once you scan your ticket, I think then you can book another day, because she did it that same day that I was in the park. So because
I was talking to someone from Shanghai, and they have to wait until, so if you go today, you have to wait until after midnight before you can book another day.
Oh, okay.
In Shanghai. So that's I'm so curious about what the different countries are doing, different parks in the world are doing, which is kind of like what this series is about. So
yes. Exactly.
As we do more of these series, I'm getting more and more information from different places. It's great. Well, Darlene, I want to thank you for coming on. This was great.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So you could visit Darlene and Stuart at the WDW Fan Zone website, vlogs, and podcast. So I'm sure that will be available. We'll post a link in the Facebook page for the Fan Zone.
Yes.
And your other one is what? Living in Florida? What is it?
Florida. I think it's our Florida edition is what we just call it. Florida Living.
Florida Living. So is that a separate podcast altogether?
It's still posted on our WDW Fan Zone forum webpage. So we do forward it out through there, but that one's our Florida edition. So it's the WDW Fan Zone Florida. Podcast.
And then we also have our detours, which is separate from the main show, but it's the same show, but just kind of excellent.
Different title. Yes.
Well, this was great. I love having you on. I can hardly wait to see you again.
I know. I can't wait to see you again.
I know. Probably. Geez, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it out for the 50th next year or not. It's.
I hope for the 50th. I mean, that's not until October, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping by
October.
Yeah, I'm hoping everything's going to be done by October too. That will be good to go.
So anyways, check out Darlene's sites. Firsthand account, Victor Naraki is the guy you want to see. So visit him at celebratingflorida.com. See, I said it right, Ken. And with that, Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.